Sarah Jane.
Hello, my fellow Whovians. Welcome back to TARDIS Talk. I am Josh. With me is my boy Daz.
What is up? How's everybody doing?
We doing good. We doing Gucci, boy. So, this week we're going to be talking about School Reunion. This is Doctor Who, Season 2, or Series 2, Episode 3, for those on the seasonal numerical track, if you guys want to know that. But this was released in October 13, 2006, and personally I think is a really good really good episode. So what did you think?
Okay, so before we get into specifics, right,
Yeah.
I want to say, I know I've said it a couple times before, but I really love this era of CG. It's just the right amount of goofy, so that way the writing has to be great, and the writing in this episode's way better.
Oh,
Way better
absolutely.
than the last one. The last one felt like maybe like there was like a Make-A-Wish thing going on, or like a Willy Wonka get the golden ticket and you get to write an episode of Doctor Who. Because the writing was really bad for like the first 15 minutes of the last episode. But this one, no big complaints. I feel like they just kind of throw us in with not a whole lot of
Prep time.
prep time. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, we're out of school. Okay, what the fuck's going on? He's a the doctor is a teacher. Okay, cool. This kid knows how to defeat space-time. All right, interesting. These are interesting things going on. And as cool as that is, I hope we don't get too much more of that, because I like that with certain shows. I don't feel like Doctor Who shines when they just throw you in a situation and say, figure it out, shithead, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the episode was written not by Russell T Davis. It's written by Toby Whithouse, who is best known for his work on the BBC's Being Human.
Oh, I've watched it.
And yeah,
Not all of it, but some of it. It's pretty
it's
good.
a good show. Yeah, it's a good show. He's done quite a few episodes of Doctor Who as well. One of
That makes
them being
sense then, because his style of writing is vastly different than the other episodes that we have watched.
Yes, he return. The next time we'll see him in Doctor Who is during Matt Smith's era.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is the first and last time we'll see him for a while. But I think the writing is much better. I think it's I thought the plot was interesting. I also thought that I also thought that not going for that traditional that basic kind of cold opening that we got in the last episode, where we had we had the monks, the warrior monks,
Oh
come out
yeah.
of nowhere in the last episode. It's just, hey, we're in a school, something's happening, like,
Listen, I
what?
want to forget the last episode happened, if we're gonna be honest.
What, you don't want the entire royal family to be werewolves?
No, it's not even that, right? It was just the first 15 minutes were so painful. Like, after really ruminating on it, because like we recorded that like right after I watched the episode, for those of you listening at home.
Yeah.
The last episode. And it, after thinking about it for a while, I was like, dang, that episode was left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. Like, this one, it's not painful to sit through the beginning. I think that there's no like glaring logical leaps, and I liked the fact that even though I haven't watched series 1 at all, um the show uses like secondary characterization in order to kind of let me know, okay, this lady, she was with the doctor before. Okay, this canine is like one of their traveling companions. Like, and they're kind of drawing parallels between the current companions he has and the previous ones. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I guess deadlocks are a thing that are like super cool and can't make sonic screwdrivers do things. That was interesting. Like, there was a lot of knowledge drops, right? And as
Oh
someone
yeah,
who
big time.
watched any of series 1 and hasn't really watched any of Doctor Who, minus a few spare episodes here and there with my parents when I was growing up, this has been dope. I loved this episode. There was a lot of knowledge drops. There was a couple tense moments, and then I liked the fact that we kind of made up by the end of it. I feel like although the writing is different, and I would have preferred a different type of opening. Um, it's just much better than the last one. Even maybe the first episode that we watched together. I
I
would say.
like I like how this more coincides with a kind of Scooby-Doo esque Scooby-Doo esque episode or something like that because
Like a monster of the
it
week type
yeah,
situation.
a monster of the week because it opens showing us who the bad guy is. And
Oh
then
yeah.
we have to figure out what's going on and what how to stop it along the way. But yeah, so the episode opens up with the doctor being a teacher at this school. He's been there for like 2 or 3 days. He's teaching physics, and this kid Milo is absolutely brilliant. Just like he is answering the doctor's questions right away, and the doctor's like, something's up with this kid. He can divide by three. What is
Also,
going on?
can I just say we've all had a classmate like Milo.
Yes, we've
And
all.
I'm very glad that we got like that gave me nostalgia whiplash to grade school, bro. Oh my goodness. Uh and I want to say too, kind of parroting off your Scooby-Doo comment, I really like this I do like the format of telling us who the big bad is and then getting to like feel very riveted in what's going on. Um as the doctor tries to solve the problem and he doesn't even know what the problem is yet. Like I really liked the um not who done it, but how done it, as in like how are they going to solve this issue,
Hmm, hmm.
and being let behind the curtain. And I hope we get more of that in the future because that this is probably the most riveting episode for me so far. Really loved it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Speaking of villains and seeing who the villain is up front, that it will be Anthony Head, otherwise known as Mr. Finch in this episode. So, Anthony Head, have you seen Ted Lasso?
Some of it.
So, Anthony Head is in the Ted Lasso show Rupert Grint. He is the antagonist for the majority of the series. The he used to be the football manager or the football owner or the club owner for the football team that Ted manages, and now it is Rebecca. But
It's cool to see him in his earlier acting career, right, and seeing how
yes,
he came from one spot to another.
you've seen Merlin, correct?
Merlin, no, don't know what Merlin is.
So he's Uther
Wait,
Pendragon in Merlin.
no, I know what Merlin is. That's that
Yeah.
guy who came up to Arthur and he's like, "Hey, dude, you're gonna become the king of England. Hey, congratulate!" It's like a you're the wizard Harry, except you're the king Harry type situation. When you think
Yes.
about
Yes,
it.
and possibly maybe not so platonic relationship.
Hey yo,
Hey
hey yo,
yo,
that's
hey
what I'm talking
yo.
about. But
But yeah,
no, so
anyways,
I wanted to say too that I loved Mr. Finch here. Because he is just like he looks like he's a slimy car salesman throughout the entire episode. And every time I saw him, I was just like, when's this guy gonna sell his first car? Like I really feel like this is a missed opportunity for a good bit, you know? Like he's like, the doctor. I know that I'm this big bad alien dude, but have you considered a Honda Civic? It's just gonna save you a lot on gas compared to your TARDIS. You know, like I just feel like there was an
yeah,
opportunity
yeah,
there. There was an opportunity there. He's got this like really
yes.
shitty suit on, and he's got this like absolutely fake plastered on smile the entire time. And I adore that. I adore that. He's like mimicking humanity in the most like caricaturized way. And oh my god, fantastic acting.
What's great about this episode is that not only is the villain really enjoyable, but the characters in this are as well because they bring back a character that was in the original Doctor Who run during, I want to say, the third and fourth Doctor Who era. Yeah. So we
That's the
bring back Sarah Jane
Elizabeth,
Smith.
right? Yeah.
So
I,
Sarah
I think
Jane
her.
Smith makes a return in this. Yes.
Yeah, I think the actress's name was Elizabeth because I was like, who the hell is this lady? But yeah, I
No,
thought it
yeah,
was
Elizabeth Sladen.
they did a really good job. Like I said earlier, like introducing this is a previous character. Even before they even said it, it was pretty clear. Because she's got a lot of doctorisms, is the way I would put it. You know, like it's like WWDD. What would the doctor do? Or WWTDD. And she's like really starting to grill Finch early on when we first see her, and I was like, oh my god, that feels familiar. Especially with the way that she uses her line of reasoning too, where it's all very like 1,000 miles a minute and circular in order to try and get the person to screw up so you can go, aha, I've got you, you silly little goofball.
Yes, I see everything clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially when they each other too.
The reunion between the Doctor and Sarah Jane is quite emotional for the two of them and spectacular well as well because uh, in the episode it says that he left her after a bunch of their friends died. So I've never seen Classic Who. I've only seen clips here and there. I have no context as to what she is actually talking about. That being said, it sucks that he left her behind.
A theme I saw here that I feel like as viewers, some people might take out of context and be like, Doctor Who, bad man. Um, the Doctor is like an ancient being, right? And he kind of hits on this note later in the episode, but from the get-go, I was like, wait. So this like 40-year-old Karen is mad because the literally immortal and functionally immortal um man drops her off so she can live her best life so he doesn't steal the best of her years from her and allows her to like make her own life and make her own way in life and give her this beautiful experience to like create who she's supposed to be, not necessarily who she was going to be, so she can be the best version of herself. And she's upset with him. And that made no sense to me because he literally like based on at least the secondary characterization that we get, it seems like he made her into a very independent, like cunning, and witty young woman. And you can definitely see that when they like sit down at the diner together. And they're kind of like catching up like old friends, and she's able to kind of hit him with quips as fast as uh, she can. And I think it's a little unfair, especially when Doctor Who eventually like explains that to
Rose.
it's Rose. Yeah, when he tries to explain that to Rose, she holds it against him. Like, how dare you know other people when you're thousands of years old? What?
It- it's the battle between the misses and the X.
Right? Like, I think I think Rose by the end of the episode kind of gets it right that he is immortal. He's going to have previous partners, and they're not even dating yet. Like, she has fostered feelings for this immortal man, and I think we see a lot of maturity out of Rose by the end of it as she realizes that she's being immature and childish,
Yeah.
especially when they kind of like kiss and make up, so to speak. Rose and Sarah, and they realize they're kind of the same person almost. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, honestly, I think the Doctor leaving Sarah Jane was probably the best thing for her because like you said, she is an independent woman. She's a successful journalist, I do believe. And like that's probably the best thing she could have had happen to her. Like if she had gone off with the Doctor, she probably would have died like the rest of her friends.
Yeah, and it's not even just that she would die like the rest of her friends. Like, let's say she doesn't, right? Hypothetical, perfect situation. She isn't murdered. She somehow manages to miraculously succeed and not dying until we'll say like 60, right? Because I feel like by 60 you can't be running away from space aliens anymore.
Oh my back. Oh my
Realistically, yeah,
back.
yeah, you fall down and you break your hip. Now what, right? Um, Not to say there's anything wrong with being 60, but I don't think you're like necessarily you're not Harrison Ford. You can't be an action hero at 60. So he drops her off at 60, and then what? She has no money, she has no house. And you know what? Hypothetically, let's even say those aren't issues. Somehow the doctor, who is not a man who even pays attention to money, uh, sets her up with a beautiful house, you know, enough money to last the rest of her days. Now she gets to sit alone with Canine for the rest of existence. She doesn't have a like husband or wife to go home to, maybe kids, a dog, other than Canine. Like she doesn't have companionship. And I think the most beautiful part of this episode was seeing that kind of like cycle repeat and everyone being on the same page. Because I feel like up until now, Rose hasn't been on the same page at all for the most part with Doctor or with the Doctor, other than how to behave around him and have a good time. She didn't kind of get the whole we are doing things for the good of the universe, uh, and eventually I will leave you because it's what you need. And unfortunately, I think the Doctor lies to her here. He's like, "I would never with you," which feels like that's probably something he's told everyone because it was so quick and instant and terse
Yeah.
that it's almost like a rehearsed line for him. And you can see too, like how like stoic his face gets. It almost feels like it hurts for him to say it.
Rule one of the doctor lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think he really has to say that for himself because as you said, the doctor is nigh on immortal, so he goes on, whereas everyone else in his life just withers and dies from time. It's not a fun realization for either of them. It is the curse of the Time Lords to live practically forever while everyone else goes on with their mortal lives.
Yeah, and you know what I just realized is even with the heat death of the universe, the doctor it won't matter. The doctor still lives because he just goes to a different universe. Oh, that's horrid. Anyways, sorry. I kind of rambled for a little bit, all right? I just
We
had
got
some
on a dark note there.
Hey, whoa. All right. I'm having some epiphanies about the doctor, and I think it's not necessarily dark, it's beautiful, right? That we're seeing such nuanced takes on the human condition in episode 3 of series 2. um
Really on the third episode, people. Give
no,
us
I
a
know.
break.
But so Mr. We'll pull back a little
Miss
bit. So Mr.
Mr.
Finch,
Finch.
we find out that he's you know, like really successful at keeping all of the kids in line. It's like almost like prison how like militant he is with the kids and no one's really understanding how he's able to get the kids to do well. So then Sarah uh who I guess is like a journalist now, which kind of
Yep.
fits for a former companion of the doctor because she likes to know things or she likes to investigate. So I guess a journalist really works here. Uh he starts investigating him, and Mr. Finch is like, "Later, bitch. I don't have time for you. I'm gonna throw you onto the lap of this dude that I just hired. Go have fun, you two." Because he knows that like this dude's been working here for 2 days. He's not gonna have anything bad to say. Um, and then the doctor has that reunion. Yada yada yada. Um, and then eventually, like as they're kind of like talking and trying to figure out what's going on, I think it was Rose sees them dump like that toxic waste shit from the 90s that we all used to have as like kids. Those like little toxic waste toys. I think the toxic waste was
Yes.
edible. And they spill it on one of the lunch ladies, and she starts boiling. So Rose, being a normal human being who's compassionate, goes, "Oh shit, let me call an ambulance." And this fucking lunch lady looks at her and is like, "You don't need to." And then she's like, "She's fine." And we hear
I'm
in the
on
background,
fire.
"My skin, it's melting, I'm melting." Maybe that
No,
extra
it's
part
fine.
wasn't
That she does that.
she does that? Who does that? Rose! Oh my god, woman! Please! Please! I know you knew it was I knew you knew something was wrong, but you couldn't put it together that maybe they're not people? Maybe they're not people? Okay, sorry. I had to go away from the mic for a second to really like blow everyone's eardrums out there.
Our recording system thanks you.
Yeah, of course. But this is just another Rose moment that makes my head spin, where she doesn't immediately think, "I should go tell the doctor." No, that's normal. It's okay. every cafeteria has turbo toxic waste that boils you if you even dip a fingy in it. Yeah, that's very normal. Typical high school.
That's called chicken nugget sauce.
Yeah, right. It's the yum yum sauce. Did you guys ever have yum yum sauce at high school? Oh, that
It's
stuff
a
was
yum
good.
yum sauce.
Um, but yeah, then
The
after that, I think doesn't Sarah like show that Robo Dog, which I'm in love with, and I hope we get one soon, IRL.
I fucking love K9. K9 is also another classic character from Doctor Who. But yeah, K9 is absolutely adorable, and we need one. We absolutely need one.
I love K9. And I also love that Sarah having K9 still is a real physical manifestation of her being unable to move on.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
and I think like even a little bit of emotional immaturity from a woman who looks like she's in her 40s by now.
I mean, she still looks good, but yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like she's aged, you know what I mean? And she's
Hmm.
still trying to be a 20-year-old with the doctor. I don't know. I think the K9's supposed to be like a storytelling tool for this is kind of her like what is left of who she was as K9 and it's kind of falling apart. And I really like that. I think it's very like showing of how she's kind of been losing it a little bit, it sounds like.
Yeah, during the beginning and middle of the episode is basically reintroducing her and just showing that she's trying to recapture that and recapture that sense of adventure and whatnot. And by the end of the episode, it's basically she has recaptured it, she's reinvigorated, and is ready to move on to bigger and better adventures in a not so subtle spin-off tease.
Oh yeah. And you know what? I think that I think K9 is also really indicative of like a physical portion of her trauma almost. And like almost like a drug addict, she's still chasing that kind of high of being a galaxy away and meeting the Loch Ness monster, which is interesting.
Fucking wild. The actual Loch Ness monster. Yeah.
But then I think he like they find out about the weird oil is what it's what's making kids smart. Oh, also, wait, let me run it back. I'm sorry. Now that I'm thinking about the oil and the kids being smart. You, Finch eats an orphan at the beginning of the episode. What the fuck?
I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah.
This
Man
kid,
eats an orphan.
this kid already has it bad enough, and we're just gonna eat him? What?
Eh,
Oh,
not like the world's gonna miss him.
I, it's just the oh child, you have no parents to miss you. Come with me. Like, oh dang it! Like as soon as the door closed, I was like, damn it, he's gonna. Yup, there it is. But they give the oil to K9 because they can't get into the TARDIS. I think 'cause it's like in the basement or some shit like that, and they find rats in the basement, which makes them first go, maybe perhaps everything is not as it seems. And K9 goes, oh, this is like cool guy oil from the aliens, and it makes you really smart. Uh,
Let's
and
talk
I
about
think
the
then they go to like a diner.
yeah, they were at the diner when they do that. Let's talk about the aliens for a minute. The design of the aliens are wild.
Yeah,
Absolutely wild. It's like
like
it's a cross between a I want to say it's a cross between a naked mole rat and a bat.
no. I've got the perfect explanation
Yeah.
for anyone who hasn't seen the episode. If you've ever watched Real Monsters, they look like something out of Real Monsters. They do. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. Why are you booing me? I'm right. It's so
That's
true,
that is such a great description.
right?
Oh my
Oh,
god. I can see it now.
oh, I would definitely buy a plushie of those, like Krillbenites or something like that. Whatever the hell they were called. They were cool. They were a cool villain. I liked it. I think they were well written, especially because like as the episode goes on, we kind of like learn a little bit more about them after everybody has their little powwow, holds hands, sings kumbaya, whatever. You know how it is.
Hmm.
And the Krillitanes or the Krillinite. something like that. Um,
Krillatan.
Krillatan, there you go. Basically, they just move from planet to planet and just murder the fuck out of everyone to absorb their like desirable traits, kind of like forced evolution, I guess. Um,
Yeah, kinda.
and that's also a really good way for them to explain why they like he didn't immediately think they're Krillanites. He was like, or what was it? One more time.
Yeah, I think it's Krillinite. Uh,
Krillin- Krillitane. Krillitane.
Krillatan. That's sorry, Krillatan.
There we go. Yeah, the Krillatans. He was like, yeah, no. Um, last time I saw them, they just had really long necks and were basically human. And I think this is the beginning of how smart we see Mr. Finch is, at least for like a villain of the week. Because Mr. Finch, I think, in my opinion, knew that was the Doctor from the get go. A little bit. He had like a hunch. Because every time he talks to the Doctor, he's in his human form. And even when he's spying on him, he's in his human form, which I think is
Well,
a really interesting character trait.
no, because Mr. Finch said that he is locked in his human form because that is what he chose to stay as, whereas the rest of his compatriots are still bats.
Well, he also says like when the doctor asks him why he would do that, he said it's his preferred form,
Yeah.
which I don't know, I feel like that's a little weird. Cause like I feel like it's the exact opposite of a culture focused around evolution to then lock yourself into a certain like being. Do you know what I mean? I think it's I think it's a deception on his part.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I did like the I did like that his his villain speech really enticed the doctor
Oh
to
yeah.
think about what he would do to save everyone.
Oh
Like he
yeah.
was,
Like
it's very even the snake.
I would say, especially even the way that he moves throughout the shot, he kind of like literally slithers, but obviously on his feet towards the doctor. He kind of has this way he moves that's very rhythmic,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a Adam and Eve type situation. Because he's like, I can give you godlike power with this knowledge.
Yeah.
All you have to do is let me use these children and potentially maybe eat them and you. Because you don't know what I'm going to do once I get this knowledge. But it would be really cool. You could save all your Time Lord people. You could save every civilization. And I think there's definitely like a timeline where we see the 10th Doctor um, kind of side with them. But I think it also just goes to show David Tennant's acting prowess. Because like you really see the regret on his face as he says no. Because
Oh,
like you can
big
see that
time.
he
Yeah.
regrets his personal actions that got him here. But he's not
Mm-hmm.
going to let himself become a monster.
Like these physical monsters. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's cool. This villain is cool because he doesn't come to the Doctor as a villain. He's not trying to portray himself as a villain. He's basically saying, "Oh no, we don't want to use this. Look at what this could be used for good. Like we want to give it to you for you to change reality, for you to get rid of all the bad in the world. You could do this. We're doing this for you." And just that is very much a classic villain. Like, I'm doing this for the good of mankind.
Oh yeah, and I think that we see. I wouldn't even say necessarily that. Even though he does villainous things, I don't think Finch is a villain because I think when you're a true villain, right, you understand you're a villain. But
Not
Mr.
a true
Finch,
villain. Man ate an orphan.
okay, listen, all right, that orphan wasn't gonna be missed by anyone. I'm on his side with this one.
Orphan deserved it.
You know, listen, kids are the snack that smiles back. It's okay. So I think that Mr. Finch believes he's telling the truth. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands that in the like long term, it's definitely not going to work out the way he wants it to. and it definitely would end up being terribly abused because he already has all this power over the kids and he's abusing the shit out of it. You know what I mean? He's
Hmm.
literally eating orphans. But I don't think he sees it that way. And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes him such an interesting villain because he doesn't see himself as a bad guy. I don't even think he sees the Doctor as a bad guy.
As an antagonist, no, I don't think so. It's he's trying to win the Doctor over to his side, which obviously can't really happen.
Oh yeah, even when they're fighting each other, I don't think Mr. Finch sees him as like a bad guy. They just have different camps that they're in. But
Hmm.
eventually they talk about like some stasis theory or something, which is like the building blocks of creation and like space and time and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the God Maker, the paradigm for ultimate power or whatever. Yeah, the fucking green codex thing that's on all the computers that can just be switched off by unplugging it from the outlet.
oh yeah, and it's like it's like the Matrix, but if you also mixed it with the movie Hackers, is kind of what the visual looks like. If it's been a while since you watched this episode, it's the way I would put it. And I think what ends up being really, really funny is Mr. Finch tries to convince him to do it again. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want to join me, buddy?" And the Doctor's like, "No, bro, we're gonna leave later's." And then they find Kenny. Also, Kenny's a vibe. Kenny's
Kenny is
such a
such
vibe.
a vibe. Kenny blew up the school. Kenny's gonna get a lot of girls.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Kenny's kind of got a Heather's situation going on, but instead of murdering people and then blowing up the school, uh, he just refuses to eat French fries because he thinks that I guess he thinks they're gross or something. And then he's like, "Why is everybody so addicted to these computers? Oh my god, this looks weird. I need an adult." Runs to the front of the school after they've called this like emergency meeting for the staff room where they eat all of the normal staff,
Hmm.
and then lock all the kids in classrooms to do their cracking, their cryptography, if you will. And Kenny's
Like,
just sitting there yanking on the doors like that's gonna help. Like, dude, just
help
go
me,
to a
help
window,
me. Like I
right?
needed. Kenny's like, I need an adult, not these adults.
Yeah, I need an adult who's better at being an adult. I feel you, Kenny.
I need
But
an
then
adultier adult.
then Mickey runs over and he's like, "What's going on, kid? Okay, 2 words, Pictionary." No, but he basically is like, "Kid, what's wrong?" And Kenny's like, "Everything's bad. Oh my god, what's going on?" And then
He tries
Mickey's
to
like,
get he
"Oh
tries to
my
get
goodness,
K9, and K9's
no,
like, we're in a car.
no!" Yeah, he goes
We're in
over
a
to hit
car.
K9 and he's like, "How do we lock pick the door? Can you do a lock picking?" And he's like, "We are
We're
in a
in a
car."
car.
And Mickey's like, "But how are we gonna get in? We are in a car." And then Mickey's like,
He just doesn't get it. And we're in a car. My guy, you're in a car.
"Yeah." And
Oh.
Mickey doesn't even hit the O. He's like, "Oh, I can just run into the school with the car, like it's his idea." Mickey, you're like every bad school group project partner I've ever had in my life. The dude just showed up for the presentation, shuffled some freaking note cards around, and then
Mom,
slammed the car into the school. Okay, maybe my school presentations were a little different than everybody else's, but
it definitely sounded like it. Mickey, my man's, had no brain cell whatsoever.
also he just
The brain
trusts
cell went all the way to K9.
exactly, and he just trusts this kid to get out of the way. What?
I would
And
just
wait,
ram the kid.
yeah, right? Like, because he sends it. And like it's a glass door. You really don't need to hit it that hard. But this dude's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go like 15 miles an hour into this door. Hope that kid figures it out." Like what? So then Mickey crashes through it. Um, and I think Mickey like and Mickey starts unplugging all the computers, I want to say.
Yeah,
And suddenly the kids are fine.
yeah, he unplugs the computers. The kids are fine. They all go out and just destroy the school.
Oh yeah, just typical like early 2000s kids things. It's just boys
Hmm.
being boys. And
And
then the
we had the
doctor.
saddest scene.
Oh my god, dude. Listen, all right. I I uh I have a weakness for robots. I have a weakness.
K9's a
I
good
got
boy.
so upset when K9, because he's a badass, by the way. Can I just put this out there? K9, when they're all getting chased, starts just shooting at all the different bat people. He's like, "You're bad. I'm gonna laser the crap out of you," and he kills like 3 of them.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he's a
big time.
certified G. All right, that's a hood classic right there. K9 has some street cred now. He's got bodies on his belt.
K9
Um,
is a dog.
oh yeah, he got that dog in him. That's for sure. And then they end up getting chased into the kitchen because they get like kind of like cornered
Mhm.
and ripped the fire. Or Kenny, smart kid Kenny, busts open the fire alarm.
No, no, no.
And
Okay, so this is what happened. This is exactly what happened because I watched both. I watched this episode today. So this is exactly what happened. They're in the room. They're in another room, like a school a schoolroom or a classroom
a
or whatever.
locker room or something.
They're locked in there. All the Krillitanes and Mr. Bad Guy, Mr. Finch, is trying to get through the door. The doctor is like, "Okay, bats. What do you do? How do we deal with bats? How do we deal with bats?" And Kenny, my man, Kenny rolls his eyes, smashes his elbow in the in the fire alarm. It's like, are you fucking kidding me,
Can I just
guys?
say, Kenny is an action hero because I don't
Okay.
think that like 9, because that kid, no, that kid was probably like early preteens, like 14. I don't think at 14 I could have put my elbow through a freaking fire alarm. This kid just goes, bow! Like, what? Excuse me? This little kid, like 90 pounds of fury, because he's like maybe 5'1", bashes his elbow into the fire alarm and is somehow able to break it. Well, the doctor, a dude who's like, he's literally he, him, that guy, he's him, um, is unable to realize that there's a fire alarm right there. Like, I'm just saying, Kenny, MVP of this episode. I'm putting it down. I know K9 definitely helped solve this problem, but Kenny limited the casualties. Okay?
The doctor, with all his infinite wisdom, can't understand that bats are allergic to sound.
Oh my god. But we'll go back to K9, my bestest boy. I wish I had one
The
in real
bestest boy, the
life.
goodest of boys.
So K9 like runs out of battery in the fight in the gym with all those guys. And then they're all going over to the kitchen, and this is one continuity break that kind of really rattled my head, but it's K9, so I'm gonna allow it. They're
Oh,
talking
go
about how
off.
they
Yeah.
need to open the freaking krillitane oil because they're allergic to it or something. It's
Mhm.
toxic on them, whatever. And they've got deadlocks on them, which means the sonic screwdriver can't do a damn thing about it. Which, as someone who has not watched any Doctor Who stuff prior to this, absolutely amazing that I got that information now. Deadlocks, you want to do some evil, just put deadlocks on every door. You're getting in trouble.
So a very tiny rabbit trail from this, but so the sonic screwdriver has the consistency in what it can and can't unlock. It goes back and forth a little bit. There are some constants throughout the entire series, but Deadbolts is a new one, an old one, I think, but another one is wood. The screwdriver cannot do wood.
Huh.
Yeah.
But how did he open the door in the werewolf episode if he can't do wood?
it's that's what I said. It's it,
Oh, I
it,
see where you're
it
coming
flip
from.
flops. It flip flops. It doesn't stay consistent.
You know what I think? You know what I think?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think the only thing that can really keep the doctor from opening something is if he believes he can't open it. I think that's what it
Yes.
is. I really
Yeah.
think that's what it is. That makes way more sense when you think about it logistically.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, I can open this door, and it opens. But he's like, oh no, there's a deadlock on this. I can't open it. It's terrible. Like, okay. All right. I'm just putting that out there. But K9 just apparates like he's fucking here. And K9's like, Master, I can blow up the funny vial of stupidness that'll kill the crap out of those guys if you want me to, but I gotta be like right on top of it. And the doctor, understandably, because K9 is a national treasure, is like, but I don't want to do that. Is there anything else we can do? And K9's like, absolutely not.
I will
My life for
sacrifice my
you,
life for
doctor.
you. I love you. Please marry
And then
me.
he's like, you are a good dog. And he's like, affirmative. Oh my God, bro. I want K9. I want him. BBC, make me a K9. Like, Amazon has Astro. Make a K9. All right? Make me
Make
a
a Lego
K9 robot.
canine.
Not even a Lego K9. I want a real K9 that walks around my house and says affirmative and wags his
Analyzes
ears.
strange, stupid goo.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, Master, this is peanut butter. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I was worried it was some other sort of brownish goop. But anyways, so K9 blows himself up. You know, he does a little bit of a tiptoeing in his Jordan's riffraff moment where he wants to blow up and act like he don't know nobody.
Yeah.
Kills all the bad guys, including Mr. Finch. How it like popped from the laser and then exploded is beyond me. That's not explained. I'm not sure how that works at all. But they all end up okay. And then, you know, obviously there's this solemn moment where they're all kind of sitting afterwards talking about how they like saved all the kids. And you know, Sarah and Rose have this kind of like moment where they're
They
talking to
got
each
their
other.
heart to heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sarah tells her that some things are worth breaking your heart over, and I thought that was beautiful. And you know, Rose is like, "All right," and then we get Mickey as a permanent companion because the doctor
Mm,
says, "Fine, I guess,
yeah.
I guess." And as he leaves, the doctor leaves Sarah Jane Smith a parting gift, a Canine Mark III. And I thought the best line in this entire episode was at the end. She's like, you know, oh my god, I thought you blew up. And he's like, no, I am a better model or whatever. And he goes, yeah, he does like to replace us with better models, doesn't he? Oh, that was a great episode. Oh my goodness, I
That
would
was a
give
great
that
episode.
in my like 1 to 10, you know, scale of funniness
Hmm.
and beautiful Doctor Whoian stuff, give that a 9. There was some moments where I was like the K9 moment, but we are allowing that because it's K9, our Lord and
Yeah.
Savior. Um, that were weird, that didn't quite make sense, but overall, really good episode.
Oh,
Maybe
absolutely.
I'm being really nice to this episode because the previous one in my book was like a 6 out of 10, but this is a 9 out of 10. All right, this is a 9 out of 10. It's good. I was like locked in the entire time, which is hard for me to do with a 45-minute show. Uh, but usually I'm pretty locked in. But this one had me like on the edge of my seat the whole entire episode. Perfect pacing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll definitely see more of that locked in mechanical detail in the next
Oh
episode.
yeah,
So yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Speaking
absolutely.
of,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
am interested because I really like that kind of like almost like 18th century Mardi Gras mask type beat going on, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to taking a look at that next week. So yeah, bye bye, my boy. Thank you for coming on. This has definitely been fun. Sorry for everyone who missed the past couple weeks. If we just take some time off for personal reasons, yeah, nothing big. But we're back. We're back, and gonna be doing more stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
um, this has been fun. It absolutely has been fun. I definitely look forward to doing these episodes with you a
me
lot
too,
more.
man. I gotta say that it's good to be back. I know I've said it. I think on at least one of our other episodes. I genuinely look forward to our little Doctor Who podcast because I get to watch Doctor Who, and I'm so bummed that for the first 25 years of my life, I didn't really watch it. I always thought it was good, but I never got into it, and I just have a blast talking about it with you, man. Like we just sit here, we shit post, we talk about the cool episode. You give me some cool gamer facts, and then I understand it a little bit better, and then I go into the next episode like a Whovian. You know what I mean?
You go into the next episode like, are you kidding me?
Exactly. I feel like equipped to talk about it because you've been slowly showing me the ways. It's like, you know, you are the Jedi Master and I am a mere Padawan, but I am rising through the ranks quickly to a Jedi Knight. I'm working on
At least I'm not Anakin Skywalker.
it. There you go. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
All right, guys. We will see you guys. You will see y'all in the next episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we do have this on Spotify for you to listen to as well. If you're listening on Spotify, it's on YouTube. Go check it out over there, and leave us a rating. Let us know what you guys thought, and we will see you guys again next week. So that being said, Hopefully, you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Peace out, Hoovians. Bye bye.
Bye bye.